So at Jacobs & Company, we've always had a history of transacting land. I'm an investor into land, I'm a developer of land, and we sell and transact a lot of land for our customers. And oftentimes, you know, when you get into the semi-rural to rural landscape communities, you don't have access to public utilities such as public water or, in many cases, public sewer. So how do you solve the challenge, right? Well, it all comes down to well, you know, for your water, and septic, right? So many people say, well, you know, Scott, what kind of septic is it? You know, and really what goes into that process of conducting a PERC test? Well, a PERC test is essentially a study that's conducted by licensed soil scientists, better known as an AOSE. Soil on one side of the road can be totally different from the opposite side of the road. So it's important to conduct a PERC test to understand if a property is truly buildable, right? You know, because most consumers just want to know, can I build a house here? And if so, what kind of drain field is it going to be, and what are the costs associated with that? It's really important that you do this, because I have seen in my past, right, where buyers might get really excited about a piece of land and assume a lot of things about the piece of property, ultimately that it's buildable. Unfortunately, I live and work in an area where the soils just really aren't the best. So it's obviously a very nice thing now to have these alternative systems, even though they are expensive. It allows these landowners a lot more opportunities. It affords the landowners so many more opportunities than they were ever provided in their history. We're going out today to do a PERC test, to meet with Mark Smith at Soils Inc. And his very talented team. Mark's been at this a long time. He's a very trusted advocate in this industry, and you know, he's going to explain all things, what a PERC test is, what they do, and what it all really means. So I hope you enjoy it. You know, when you're conducting these PERC tests, either you're doing them in large open fields, right? Typically with tall grass, or you're in the woods. So highly recommend a couple things, right? Certainly bring water. And if you're like me, right, and you burn, and or if you don't burn, you should always have sun protection. I go with the 70. But most important out of all of them is this. I always love the deep woods, right? Never ever get a bug protectant like this that doesn't have DEET, a high level of DEET in it. Well, we're out here with Mark Smith, owner of Soils Inc.
Yeah,
how you doing,
Scott.
man?
Doing great,
We've known one another for a long time, but we thought about doing one of these, and we just never have had the opportunity. And you said, Scott, let me find the perfect site. And behind us is Lake Manassas, and this site is gorgeous, right?
It is, and a great day.
Yeah, and a beautiful spring day. So, I mean, we're really out here to certainly understand what is a PERC test and why is it needed.
Sure. So a PERC test is for a septic drain field, okay? And any new construction or old construction, they all, you know, if there's not public sewer available, then they need an on-site septic system. In order for an on-site septic system to work, it has to PERC through the water has to go through the soil, and that's really what we do. The generic term for a PERC test is to find out how fast water is going to move through the soil and check for any type of restrictions that would keep that from happening.
There's a significant difference between a standard conventional drain field and an alternative drain field. So what are the differences that you might find that might lend itself to one or the other, and or determining, you know what, that a site very well just may not work?
A conventional drain field is basically septic tank and a distribution box which feeds into leach lines or drain field lines, okay? If you do an alternative, you add pre-treatment, it cleans up the waste before it comes out into the drain field. And you know, people don't like alternative drain fields, you know, but they've opened up a lot of doors and make unbuildable lots buildable. So if you can avoid them, try to, but if you can't, then it's not, you know, it's not the end of the world. I mean, it does open, it makes buildable lot or unbuildable lots buildable. So, and
there's a cost difference between the two, and that's the reason why people always want the conventional too, right?
There is, yeah. There's definitely the cost difference. Estimate $10,000 at the minimum, but man, they can go up as high as tens of thousands more than conventional drain fields.
How did you become an AOSE? Licensed soil scientist?
Well, I'm a third generation soil scientist, and I've been doing it for a long time. Went to college and passed the tests and got the licenses, and that's how I've gotten to do it. So.
What is it that specifically you're looking for when you get in here that's going to kind of be a determining factor, right? Whether or not this lends itself to a conventional or an alternative drain field?
Yeah, basically any type of restrictions, okay? So the main restrictions in the Prince William, Fauquier, Northern Virginia area are mostly rock and seasonal water table, okay? So we have to look for these colors in the soil that determine seasonal high water table indications. So if we see those, that's when we have to stay off of, that's our separation from those restrictions, okay? Because of course we don't want to be putting wastewater into water table. So
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Well, I think this hole was designed and built for you, my friend.
I'm about
Not
to
so
jump
much
in.
for me. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Mark, lots of holes dug on this property.
Yep.
What did we find?
We got it done, Scott. We got a conventional 5-bedroom drain field.
Another happy customer?
That's right, that's
Fantastic.
right, that's right, that's right.
Nobody can ask for anything more than a conventional drain field, right?
That's right,
That's what you're out here for.
If you don't have a septic system and you don't have public sewer, then you have a non-buildable lot. So it's very important to get us out here at least to do preliminary studies, if not, go ahead and take it all the way through to the health department.
Mark, if anybody watching this has any questions regarding any types of soil analysis or the myriad of services that Soils Inc., and certainly Virginia Septic offer, how would they get a hold of you?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Scott. You can always go to our website at soils-inc.com, or you can call our office at 540-364-1122.
He's one of the best in the business, folks. You need to get a hold of this guy. He can definitely make the magic happen. Thank you so much for allowing us to do this. This is awesome. Thank you so much for getting me out of the office today, man.
All right.
On a beautiful day like this with with the lake, the only thing that could be better is if we could pop a line in the water,
Maybe we can make that happen. Let's do it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.